Good morning. I hope you find yourself well. Welcome back in episode more and here in EnPlenaPlatica. This is a space created for me to just share thoughts. Hopefully add some value in the life of some people. And of course, always try to transfer some positive message with the idea to really transform our life, to find our fulfillment, to our fullness that is so much need. As I said and share, I will keep talking until I have voice to really preach that message, what I believe is so important, because as long as you became a fulfillment person, then you find yourself in a position that you understood your life. You couldn't discover your balance, and you are working and keeping control in that and stabilize your life. I feel is when you start to create some good things from the outside, is when you start to give in more, is when you start to develop, and I believe that you line it up yourself with life, and life in exchange and appreciate of that, it'll give you more. And when you receive more, you can show more respect and more gratefulness in everything that you had, and that allows you to really give. And it became in that perfect cycle that we were created on it, and we are part of. And also, when you are in that cycle and you line it up with that cycle of life, you allow yourself to be part of, and your purposes start to become achievable, and you live based in that. And then I feel as when you can claim that you have found your fulfillment in life, and then you really start living, right? So part of this, what we're talking today is the process of construction, and what we need that process, right? I'm not broken, and for some people could maybe said, oh, I don't need to do anything else. I like the life that I have. I like the way that I live. I like I accept the life that I have. But not necessarily because we are living our life X amount of time, X amount of years, means we know what exactly has happened to us. We don't know exactly if we are our best version of ourselves. But more deeply is why we really need to find ourselves. Why we need to find ourselves to live the best version of us. And this you might have been having that conversation with yourself or not, but I believe describing a life as a tree, I like that analogy, because you can understood that you are part of one major branch that is connected to the earth, that the roots and are very established with where you are from. But in above of that big branch as a center of tree that you have different paths, right? And that is a more metaphoric idea of the whole life, and we just are part of that big branch as a root, and we can develop any path that we want, right? I always believe that is a version of me that is the alcoholic or the addict person, is also the most saint version of me, and the version that I'm living, right? And it's about like how you want to choose how you want to live your life. When I see my life, I've had so many break points in my life. I can count 5 or 6 where really lead me to make a decision of where I want to be, how I want to live, where I am, and from that path to understand the purpose of life that I have, right? And then where I'm going, and if I'm going somewhere else, and how we can make the peace. I think the whole purpose is how you can enjoy your life more, how you can live with more purpose, how you can develop that version of that good things. Why we are so stubborn an idea to destroy our life? Why testing that nature that we don't understand completely, and we have had not dedicated time to think about it, right? So I just want to talk very briefly, very fast, but with a message, with a lot of intentions to really help people to understand why we should do it, why we should think about it, what is the version of us, and why it's so important for us to develop and build that life that we want, right? We will be live at the side all these wishes of I want money, I want the best woman that I can have, the best car, the best house, those kind of superficial stuff that they are only part of the result of the whole process of construction that we are doing, right? So this is philosophy, and philosophy is no more than just break down whatever thought that you have and try to find the true or the root of it. When you understand that, you're gonna start to build it up. So we have to understand, and is why people sometimes ask me why pyramid is the name of your book, right? The pyramid of fullness, or fullness pyramid. It's just because I believe so. We have to some way define those bases, and from that basis we can start to build up our life. But as well, we will have a shadow, right? That is proportional, like an investment proportional of that pyramid. So in that shadow of it, we should be able to see ourselves that many of stuff are just reflect of what actually is we are seeing. It's another analogy that people can say, oh, the life is a mirror, right? Whatever you do, you can picture yourself in another people. And it's exactly the same metaphor, but just applying in different scenarios, that the whole aim of it is to really be able to understand why our life and why we so important that we are who driven our life in some way. Just making clear and sure that we are some creation, that we are committed to, and to develop that gratefulness for who create us, right? To that creator that made us, and we just are playing this game of life. That is, of course, is our responsibility to play it wisely, to play it good, and in some way to prove that it was worth it, live this life. Okay, so I want you to think in whatever you like to build. I don't know, maybe you like to build I don't know, a house. You like to make some origami, or like some paperwork, or whatever you like to build, right? It always will follow the same steps. The process of think or choose what you want to build. You cannot build never nothing that you haven't pictured before, right? You cannot draw in a piece of paper a chair if you haven't had imagine in your mind how that chair will look like, or from where you want to copy that chair, right? If you want to draw with that, or you want to draw a car, or you want to draw a whatever, you have to picture first what you want. The second step is, what tools do you have? Do you have a pen? Do you have a pencil? Do you have a marker? Do you have a piece of paper? Is white, is blue, is pink? You have a eraser, you have whatever tools that you have to make it, okay? In that case, you are building a house, or you have a hammer, you have nails, you have screws, you have washers, you have wood, you have concrete, you have whatever you need, right? And the third is which materials you can count on, which means you want to build a house. How many of bricks do you need to build it, right? How many wood do you need to have? Yeah, so all those kind of things. Then the fourth step is the place. Where do you want to build it? You want to draw in a car, okay? Where do you want to draw? You want to have the car in front of you. You want to copy from internet. You want to be in your desk. You want to be in the nature. The same in a house. You want to build it in a mountain, in the sand, in the beach, in the woods. These things need to happen, right? Then the fifth step is action. You have to start building it. Doesn't matter you have the materials, doesn't matter you have the tools, doesn't matter you have the idea, doesn't matter you have the place, if you don't start to do it. Because if you don't do it, it will never exist. And the last step is the review or the control step, right? You have to review if you are following the drawing in your mind, and you have to follow the pattern that you want to follow and build it whatever you are building, right? So now is nothing new. How we can apply this in our life? Me as an engineer, and as a thinker, and as a philosopher, and as a writer to be, I'm constantly facing the idea of thinking, but nothing of what I'm doing has meaning if I don't bring it to this action point, if I don't actually do it. I can think that I'm the best human, that I have the best ideas, that I whatever, but if I don't bring it to life, it will never occur. In another podcast, I will thinking about why we have the need of create things, why we have the need to really do things, right? And that is just connected with from where we are being created from. We have a creator and we are image of that creator. Is why. The only thing is we sometimes think that we are the lords of our lives, and that is the wrong idea to think, because we just feed the ego. But more closely to this topic that I'm talking in this specific podcast is about like why it's so important to build your life and why we are not doing it. Okay? First of all, you have to stop to living in the outside and some ideas. You have to stop thinking and doing whatever you are doing just for have the reward, to have the admiration, to have the fame, to have the money. Because we are not external individuals. We live and we exist in that external world, but we are spiritual beings. So it is important to set it up first in our inner self, in our life, before anything external could happen. Otherwise, we will never be able to materialize what exactly we want, and is why we will live all our lives so frustrated, so depressed, so anxious, so sad, and we will never be able to fulfill ourselves with anything in life. And then probably many people could able to achieve all those kind of stuff, but if you do it from the wrong intentions, you will never fulfill yourself, right? So let's review really quick the first step. Think. What do you need in your life? What do you want? But more far, who you are. And it's basically as we have to define ourselves. We cannot define ourselves for what I have, what the people think that I am, how people that love me think that I am. It's not. It's actually who you are. When you are naked in your room in the privacy, then there's nobody else seeing you. Who you are. In my case, I'm just a body, a male body, that is a creature that have a mind, have dreams, have a body to exist, have a soul that is devoted to my creator. This is who I am. I'm a simple human being with a lot of dreams and a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas. But this is who I am. Who is willing to help, who is willing to give, but also who is willing to work for myself, who is pushing myself to try to control only what is part of my will. So when you think what do you want in your life, you have to define as well what are your fears. What are those things that you don't like? What is the things that you would like to change? For example, let's think about it as a reflect, right? You are broke. So how I can build wealth? Or you are sick, how I can build health? Or you are anxious or you are insecure, how I can build secureness, right? So how you can be, but you have to think, and this process is the most important. You have to think for yourself. You cannot think what do you want to achieve. You cannot think like in some way. It's kind of rhetoric and doesn't make sense at the beginning, but you have to stop thinking that you are building yourself for someone else. For example, if you build your house, and I'm picturing the house just because I want my house bigger than my neighbor, I want a house prettier than my enemy, or I wanna build a house that is the most impressive in the whole neighborhood. The problem when you build yourself in that way, like I wanna be secure because I wanna have the majority of women that I can. Those kind of things are always external facts. You have to think in yourself, like what do you want that wall there? What do you want that room there? What do you want the bathroom there? What everything has to be thoughtful first. So in your life, what do you want to change and why? Why? Because you are unhappy? Because so is this a complex first step, but has to be done in the right intention, with the right mindset, and the good and objectively way, right? So I remember when I built myself, I was at 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when I think more like, oh my god, it will be almost 7 years actually. When I get in that point that I did have many things that I wanted it, and nothing of that will make me feel great. And then I get an episode of my life when I get so hurt in my life and break down completely that I needed it to build and rebuild myself. I needed it. I needed to change. I needed to find a north. I found myself that I wasn't happy. I couldn't see it. I couldn't understand that I was living external way only. Everything was just to fulfill my desires, my needs, but it was never doing nothing for myself. So when I found myself in that point, and I'm pretty sure that everyone at some point feel like that, but it is most needed that you have to know yourself. So I wanted to build a human being that it could be free. This is what I wanted. Create a free man who could not depend on anything external to really understand what is the meaning of my life. And that point, I couldn't understand what was my goals, what was my purpose, what was my idea of my life. I couldn't define my principles, my values, my pillars of life, like my fundamentals. And in that way, I could build my life that I'm having right now, that I'm never could be better. So because it's a process of construction, you cannot expect that everything will so fast. Okay? So that first thought is, what do you want in your life? How you want to build, and what do you think is need to be remake? Okay? And then which tools do I have? That means, because in the first process you have to understand who are you and what do you want. You can start to put together what are your skills, what are your gifts, what are your your strength, right? And actually too, what are your weaknesses? What are the things that you don't have? What is those things that you would like to have but you don't have right now, right? So what is your skills? Know yourself, not physically, know how many money that you have, how many houses, how many. No, it's about like you. It's about like individual, who I am. In that moment I find myself that I was good with people. I was a like natural leader. I didn't have to effort too much. I didn't have to put too much effort to really be a leader. I was good with people. I understood that my purpose, because I found it and I discovered it. I knew that I was and the only thing that really made me happy, it was to serve and the way that I can inspire people. So then, because if I want to inspire people, I need to be an example. And to be an example, I have to be the best that I could. And to be the best that I could, I needed to be the person who is able to understand the life so I can be secure, I can be thoughtful, I can be empathic, I can be strong, I can be a leader. How I can be that person that is they have enough dignity to really make people believe that I'm worth it to follow, right? And that way, it comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with a lot of committed, and you have to prove yourself and work for yourself. And in that path, you will inspire many, and you will inspire many when you can. But that was my purpose. That is my purpose. Yours can be different, but you have to know. It's why the first step is the most important. And then I realized that I have those skills. So how I can use it. And then, and the third step is which materials that you have, which resources that you have, what you can do to really be able to achieve the purpose that you have. So I needed, and I know it, that my resources at the time, it was my friends. My resources was at the time my capability of think without feelings involved, my capability to think rationally, my capability to adapt to hard situations, my fearless to be alone. And when I discovered this as a material that I have, I could have combined with the tools that I used to have. So I needed to insulate in some way to work in myself, to define concepts, to define goals, to define intentions, to define purposes. And when I did all this, I could understand that I wanted to build the best version of me in a certain way, in the way that I can inspire, and it can be a man with a lot of integrity that could inspire people and lead people to become better. So when I discovered that, it was a big achievement in my life, and many good things started to happen. I was exposed in situations where I can lead people, when I can talk with people. And it was very magic understanding in situations when after I couldn't understand how the relationships work, for example, I couldn't be involved with people that have troubles in the relationships, and I couldn't advise them. I couldn't guide them. I couldn't understand them. When I understood that I have to live my life of vices and addictions, I couldn't understand people with addictions and how can help them to develop better. When I understood that people was so superficial, is when I couldn't help people to not be superficial, right? The fourth step is the place, and this is kind of like line up with what I was talking. And it's like when you are in the place, whatever you are in a dignity place, and you are so blessed and be in whatever situation do you think, even you like it or not, that you are. Because wherever you are in the right place to start making changes. And in that case, because you already know what is your purpose, you already know what are your tools, you already know what is your materials that you have to work on it, you are in the place to start making some changes. And you have to understand that every single human, independent in what they think is the purpose of it, we always, our purpose is connected to what we or how we can serve someone else. It's the only way. You have to understand that is why it's so wise this versicle in Bible when it says that it is worth it more serve to receive or to give to receive. And it's because our nature is made to serve someone else. We don't have purpose. We don't have anything else if we don't serve someone else. Many companies, and when I do some speeches and I try to do mentoring or training sessions with people, I try to emphasize this aspect, that we need to understand that if we serve and we are focused and serve someone else, we will achieve more than if we just focus and make money. We are just focused and get something in return. We are focused and be the most big company, or have more fame, or be the most like reward, or renamed person, etc. Right? You really need to focus and serve. As long as you understand that you are here to serve someone else, and you use your tools, and you use the materials that you have, and you use your skills, is always when you will receive more gratification in yourself, and you will find yourself in a position to help more. And when you help more, you will find yourself in the position that you will never be that happy before. Some people can do it with money. Some people can do it with words. Some people can do it with advice. Some people can do it with empathy. Some people can do it with leadership, whatever. But it always have to do something with how you can serve someone else. And then the fifth place is action. It doesn't matter if you find everything that I talked before, but if you don't do nothing about it, nothing is going to change. You have to write it somewhere. You have to dedicate yourself. You have to expose yourself. You have to be in situations where it's uncomfortable to be. You have to move your ass. You have to do something about it. When you said you want to stop drinking, the only thing that you will stop drinking is if you stop drinking. That requires an action. Yes, it happened, a thought that you might want to drink, but it will never occur if you don't let that action to happen. So in that case, if you already know what is your purpose, you already know what you are building in yourself, you already know what is your skills, what are your materials, and you are in the place to help someone else, but you just don't do it, you will never see nothing change in your life. You have to do something. And it's very simple, very obviously, but people do not do it. We leave some people when they insulate themselves, which is, I think, that is needed. I think in some way, even though you are married, you are with family, you are whatever, it needs that time to be alone. It is important. It's important to have dates alone. It's important to talk yourself alone without really exceed that amount of time using it, because then you can be crazy. But it doesn't harm anyone when you have that conversation with yourself, when you ask yourself why I did that, why I want to do that, why I will do that, why I did it, right? Why I hurt that person, why I do it. It's because majority of the time when you hurt someone else is because you are hurt. So you have to heal yourself first in order to don't hurt. But if you just focus on I don't want to hurt someone else, if you don't fix yourself, you will always hurt someone. So it is frustrated when you do something that you don't want to do. And I would recommend you think about it, think what things you want to change, what do you have to make that change. But most important, you have to do it. You have to do it. Start wherever you start. For example, this podcast, I start doing because for me it's so important and so valuable to share those thoughts. I don't care if people pay me, even though they do. I don't care if they like it, even if they don't. I don't care if people watch it, even though they do. But I don't do it for that. All these podcasts I'm doing because I like to share. I like to guide people. I like to lead them. I like to inspire them. Is why I'm writing my book. Is why I'm creating a page. Is why I'm having a podcast. Is why I make videos. Is why I expose myself in comfortable situations to lead. Is why I put myself in the first line of attack. Is why I like to be in a position that I can lead people, because it's for me who I'm doing it. Yes, in the process I help people, in the process I add value to people, in the process I make some returns. That is money, that is time, that is recognition, that is rewards, that is satisfactions, that is anything else. But the whole purpose is I just want to live based on my purpose. And the last step is to review or control. You have to go back and constantly don't let the cycle to end, and you always have to review yourself in the position that you will be okay. What I did, what was the intentions that I put on whatever I did, how I felt it, and what was the outcome. Because not necessarily because you want to help means you are actually helping. Many times you can believe that you are doing something because you wanted to do what you feel that is your purpose to, but it actually is not coming an outcome that you wanted. Means you probably are doing wrong. Many people is been doing something for so long that they think they are doing correctly, but not necessarily is the right way to do. Now that I'm in a position that I'm leading people, I see people that has been working in the place for over 25 years, 30 years, and they are doing something. When you ask them, why you doing this in a certain way, they just don't know. They just are been doing that for so long that they think that is the right way to do it, but maybe they are doing all life are doing something wrong. And what determined what is wrong and what is right? The functionality. If something is functional, is well done. Then, of course, we can involve continuous improvement. We can involve quality. We can involve efficiency. We can involve productivity. Yes, but when it's about yourself, you can evaluate yourself in that way as well. You can see, okay, I wanted to help. How many people I did help? Nobody. Why? Or maybe the people that I thought that I helped, I actually screwed them more. Why? What I did wrong? And you have to be always willing to change. And then we go back to the purpose of think of whatever you want to reconstruct, like a reconstruction that you can do, like remake, right? So, and then the process start again. And then you evaluate and you say, okay, fuck, I changed this, I moved this, I improve this, but yeah, the outcome is still not be the right one. Okay, I need to go and review. I have to go and think again what I need to build and how I can adjust the process of reconstruction. And then you do it again. And that is your life. And if you constantly doing this and you live constantly your life in that process, you will never get bored of your life. You always will find a meaningful and thoughtful way to live your life. You always will find people to help, to be help, and you will get help in that process. You always will achieve many other things. And of course, yes, if you are enough consistent, if you are enough prudent to keep doing the things in the right way, you will have your reward and you will enjoy it more. You know what? Because you will see that the outcome that you are looking for, it finally gives some fruits back, which is amazing, and is something that you can enjoy, and you will be able to enjoy way more. And you know why? Because you will know that you earn it, that you deserve it, and that nobody can take it from you. It's nothing worse that you feel that you win something that you know that you cheat about it. Nobody can tell me, not even the evil person can tell me that that is a good feeling. It just is not. You can pretend that it maybe is it, but it will never be. So do the right thing. It's always pay off. Think about it. Leave your comments. Let me know if you like something like that. I would like to keep going. If not, I appreciate that you don't like it. But I want you to understand that my intention is always to add value to your life, because I believe if I help people to be more fulfilled, and if we are in a community of fulfilled person, like if we are able to live in a community of fulfilled people, I always think that is the only way that we can improve. And to improve, we just need to be willing to give. And when we give, we always will go and receive in some point. But if we never do nothing for nothing else, for nobody else, we will never earn anything back. Think about it. They're your thoughts. Leave your thoughts. Leave your comments. And I hope this message on Saturday morning, it will be able to help you to think something about it, to read something when you are in the gym, when you are driving, and you can apply this in your life. Have a good evening. Have a good rest of the day. And I see you next time. Bye-bye.